Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to make rapper cover arts. So the one we're going to be doing today will be YG. So there's quite a bit of theme going on with this one as well. Predominantly, it'll be the red theme. So I've got a picture of YG that I found. I will be using this image in particular. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just use the pen tool to cut him out. So that way we're able to put any background we choose. It's a nice black and white image, so it should be fairly decent with no background. So I'm going to be using the pen tool. So to get the pen tool, you can press P on your keyboard, or if you're on the move tool, you can just select the pen tool on the sidebar. It will say pen tool for you, just like it's showing over here. So after you've done that, all you have to do is just create the points. So I'm going to start off at the top of his head. So you can hold down space, use the hand to move it around. And he doesn't really have like dreads or anything like that, or any hair that's too difficult to cut out. So hopefully it will be a reasonably easy cut. And that way you can pretty much have a nice clean cut. So again, same thing, just press Alt, go around and continue it. Just trying to get the general head shape. The ears can be a little difficult since they are sort of not really too rounded. So you can try your best to just warp it around as much as you can. So I'm just going to continue. On this one, you might want to make an inner one. You should be able to find the same image on Google Chrome if you want to follow along. I'm sorry, Google Chrome, I meant Google Images. So this can get a little bit tedious, which it does take a little bit of time. But once you do finish with it, you'll have a fairly decent cutout image. See, the gray on gray is kind of hard to work with. But just try and estimate, see where you think the jacket might be ending. So I think there, ending there. So it's not too bad. The clothing as well isn't too complex. It's fairly simple, straight jacket. So it's not too bad to cut out either. So again, warp it around, keep doing that, and it looks like we're nearly about to reach the end. This is one of the worst, like probably the most tedious tasks to do. Just continuing to cut out the image, which some people might want to use the magic wand tool, which would be a lot quicker, but sometimes it doesn't really give the best results really, because what happens with that is the hair will have the pixelated edges sometimes, and even with the body parts sometimes will have the pixelated edges, which really won't look that good in your final product. So although it is time consuming, we do try to use this. That's why in all my images I always can't stress enough to just use the pen tool. This tool can be a tricky tool to use, but once you get the hang of it, it's fairly straightforward. If you do want to see like a video I have put out in the past, just going over the pen tool if you want to learn. It's a really important tool to just know about Photoshop, I would say. So in terms of this, the idea that I was thinking of was probably going to be just probably some text in the background with a lot of red color, because YG, his theme is mainly red, just because of how he sets out his style. So that's what I'm gonna do. Probably have some text in the background. I'm not too sure what yet, or what font. We'll experiment with that as well. I'm kind of thinking maybe going with maybe it's saying dangerous or something like that. Or I don't know, what else could you put really? Because I want to keep it to his brand, you know, as best as I can do, and maybe put some. Maybe we'll put some overlays on it to see. We'll see what happens. Because the thing about designing is just about experimentation, just playing around with different ideas, seeing what works, what doesn't, and if it doesn't, just get rid of the idea and just continue to experiment. Because when you're doing that, you're obviously going to come across something that does work and that does look good. Because the idea that I just said right now, it may not look good, but we'll definitely give it a go. See how that works out. See, oh, see the importance of that. Just Control Z, connect it back up, and round it over there, and Control Enter. So Control Enter should give you the outline of YG. And now in this case, I'm going to create a layer mask, and see how it's inverted. Just hit Control I, and that will invert it so it's only selection, not just the background as well. So I'm just going to create a Control J, and then I'm going to create a duplicate of it because it's much easier to work with if something does go wrong. So now that we have that done, what I'm going to do is put a red color, maybe a gradient, maybe a solid color. We'll start off with a solid color, see how that looks. Maybe we'll change that to a gradient. So a red gradient. Yeah, that and dark red. Dark red, but I want to have it at sort of different angle really, and have it as linear. When it's linear, I think from dark to light would probably look one of the best. So I have a really dark red. And then the other color will probably be maybe a brighter red. Yeah, that looks pretty nice to me. So now we can maybe put a color overlay on YG himself. Which if we do the same thing, maybe we can just copy it over to that layer. So you can hit the layer of the background, copy layer style, bring it to that layer, copy paste layer style. So see how it's on normal. We're going to change the blend mode to different blend modes just to try and see which one looks the best. See that one, you can't really see too much of him. And then we can always lighten it. So I think the one that works the best looks like would probably be that one, but I'm just gonna create another layer, hue and saturation, go over that, and just create the layer. Okay, so that really does not work. So I think I really like one of those other ones that we initially did. See, this one would probably be better looking if it was on darken, I would say. Then I have that as both as the solid bright color. I think the darken part kind of fades it out. So see that brought out so much more color on him. They're a little bit bright as well. I think with that one, we're gonna increase the darkness one a little bit more. A little bit more darker. Just gonna cancel that, try that again. Bring the darkness. Like a different, maybe white? No, not white. A different darker color. That kind of looks fairly decent, I would say. And in the background, we have a text that says dangerous. So yep, so I have my text typed out. I'm just gonna hit Control T, drag it out so it becomes big. When it does become big, I might have that as multiple, like a lot of it. So same thing I'm doing, Control J, drag it down, Control J, drag it down. And at this point you can select all three, Control J, creates 3 copies. And we can, I think I'm actually gonna keep, yeah, that much looks nice to me. Then from there, what we will do is basically what we're gonna do is just put some overlays on there. So continuing on, maybe put a scratch overlay. So I'll grab that, put that on the back of this and see how that looks. See, the thing with that is it's not too bad, but what if it was another like dark color instead of white? What if it was like blue or something? Not blue really, or black. Black could work really nicely as well with that. It's just a matter of playing around. Other colors do work, but they don't work as good as black, I would say, because it really ties the whole thing together. And then I'm just gonna make it small so it's a little bit more sharper. Yeah, and just rotate it to make it nice and straight. And yeah, that looks pretty clean. And from there, I'm just gonna group the whole thing together. Control G, duplicate it, Control J, Control E. And then from there, I'm just gonna add a filter, see how that looks. Camera roll filter. And just, I'm gonna select one of my presets here. See, the thing is, his face looks a little bit too dark because of the dark red color. But other than that, doesn't look too bad. So I might go back and try and brighten that up. What I can do, I'm probably gonna take a color over it and just create a clipping mask so it's that, and just paint over his head. Paint over his head. And that color that I'm using, I'm just gonna make it a brighter color. Be a really bright red. And I'm just gonna change the blend mode. It's not really working, so in that case I'm just gonna maybe try put like a color overlay. So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna rasterize this layer so it lets me make those edits without compromising too much. So I'm gonna rasterize the layer style, so just a part of that, and then we're gonna try make it brighter by using a really bright red. We'll just turn on the opacity if need be. Yeah, see how that brightened it up almost instantaneously? And then some of his body, I might just darken it little bit of darkness. So there, and I'm just gonna see how that goes and just there you go. So linear burn is it. So in that case, I'm just going to try that again. Create clipping mask. Linear burn. Oh, sorry, selected linear light. So linear burn. Where's linear burn go? Oh, there it is. So linear burn, and just darken up some of these so his face stands out more. That's the most important part. Then I'm just going to turn down the opacity to maybe 70%. From there, looks like we are done. That's all done. Actually, I'm going to turn the fill to 50%, and from there, Control J, Control E, camera roll filter, select one of our presets, and I'm just going to make it 30%, no, 20%. There, just brighten it up a little bit more. 10% looks alright. From there, we have our mixtape cover done. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you really enjoyed, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.